Welcome to the Explainer. I am so thrilled you're here today because we are bypassing our usual intro stuff to jump straight into a profoundly beautiful and honestly fascinating philosophical journey. Today, we're exploring a thought experiment rooted in the Risale-e-Nur. It's a really powerful work that challenges how we perceive the temporary nature of our world. So we're looking at inexhaustible treasures, a fleeting feast, or an eternal promise. Let's explore this deeply compelling narrative about generosity, loss, and what our desires are truly pointing toward. It's a total perspective-shifting concept, and I promise you, by the end of this, you're going to be looking at your own experiences of joy in a completely different light.
Section 1. The Unfinished Banquet. Okay, let's dive into this. I actually want you to use your imagination for a second here, as we build a scenario together that perfectly captures the heart of this whole philosophical argument. I want you to picture this. You walk into a magnificent hall. I mean, it is a grand banquet, completely unlike anything you've ever seen before. There are the most beautiful dishes and the absolute most expensive, rare treats, laid out perfectly. The aromas, totally intoxicating. The visual display of wealth and abundance is absolutely staggering. You sit down, the anticipation is just building, and you can practically taste the immense generosity of the host who put this all together for you. It's literally the feast of a lifetime, laid out right in front of you, and it's completely free for you to enjoy.
But then, bam! Before you can even take a proper bite, before you can truly sit back and savor a single moment of this grand feast, the event is abruptly over. You and all the other guests are just ushered out the door. The banquet is finished before it even really began. That's a massive letdown, isn't it? It immediately forces a huge question into your mind. Why should it last so short? It creates this deep sense of loss. You kind of have to wonder, what is the logic of a host who goes to such extreme lengths to create something so elaborate, so generous, only to end it instantly? It feels entirely contradictory. Honestly, it feels almost cruel. Section 2, the logic of generosity. Well, that apparent contradiction brings us to the next phase of our journey. In our story, a wise friend points out that the countless valuable items we just saw aren't some cruel trick. Actually, they are absolute proof that the host has infinite, inexhaustible treasures and a truly boundless generosity. Now, let's break down the psychology of our experience here for a second. Think about these two concepts, the end of pleasure versus pain. There's a brilliant psychological truth to this. Just as the end of a pain is a distinct type of pleasure, the sudden end of pleasure is in itself a form of pain. Think about that. Being kicked out of the banquet hurts precisely because the banquet was so good. But here's the crucial realization. If a host possesses truly limitless generosity, they would never ever want their guests to suffer the pain of separation from that joy. Therefore, true boundless generosity logically demands a lasting, permanent feast. It requires an environment where those partaking do not have to suffer the agony of it all ending. Section 3. Introducing the real feast, and this brilliantly illustrates the core synthesis of our grand metaphor. We've identified the problem, the fleeting nature of the banquet, and we've identified the nature of the host, which is infinite generosity. Now we bring them together. Let's walk through this logical deduction step by step together, because it is incredibly powerful. Step 1, we've established that true generosity is infinite. The treasures are inexhaustible. Step 2, logically, the experience that this infinite generosity provides must also be infinite. Otherwise, it results in pain, which completely contradicts the generosity. So that brings us to the crucial point, step 3. How do we explain the short feast? Well, it's simple. That short-lived pleasure, our fleeting banquet, is not a trick. It is merely a sample. It's a trailer for the real feast. Just like a movie trailer gives you a brief, exciting taste of the full film to come, the temporary joys and fleeting feasts of this world are just tiny temporary samples designed to introduce you to the actual eternal grand banquet. Section 4. What are we searching for? So, what does this all mean for us on a personal level? We're moving now from the logical deduction of our metaphor to a deeply personal reflection on ultimate divine authority. To anchor this, we look to a really profound quote from the Quran. Then which of the favors of your Lord will you deny? That's from Surah Ar-Rahman, 55:13. In the context of our explainer today, this serves as the ultimate reminder of this boundless, inexhaustible generosity we've been discussing. Even the temporary samples we receive, the fleeting feasts, are incredible favors that point directly to an infinite source. It really challenges us to recognize the giver behind the gift and to acknowledge the eternal promise that is hidden right there within our temporary blessings. Which brings us to our final thought today. I want you to think about the best moments of your life, the moments of deepest joy, the most beautiful experiences you have ever had. Notice how they always seem to end way too quickly? They leave you with this lingering sense of loss, right? A desire for them to continue just a little bit longer. So I want you to really reflect on this. What might that feeling of lack actually be searching for? If our logical journey today holds true, that ache when a beautiful moment ends isn't just sadness, it is a compass. It's your very nature pointing toward the eternal, recognizing that you were built not just for the fleeting trailer, but for the everlasting feast. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today, and I really hope this leaves you with something truly compelling to think about.